What happens when Uncle Nick goes back to college? He pretty much rips his liberal professors and feminist classmates a new one via the essays he hands in on various academic topics. The kind of shit you can't get away with today in the gynocentric cauldron. Purchase Burning the Midnight on Amazon.com today. A link is in the description.
Dude, when do we get the whiteboard?
I don't know, but it's been there for basically a whole day and no one's drawn a penis on it yet.
What the hell? What the fuck? Oh, they got me. Disregard the penis in the corner.
Do you have hair in your special place?
But that is neither here nor there. I got bad news from Mr. James Cameron. Not like bad news, it's more like old news, but this'll be new to you. Mr. Cameron, what the fuck were you thinking? You made the classic mistake of saying I do 5 fucking times.
Did I miss anything?
Kitchen sink?
Well, we could certainly give that... Oh, you minx.
Not only does that make you insane and stupid, but a bad Canadian. Sorry? Because anyone who's ever had any FaceTime with Canadians know they say sorry about everything.
We're gonna gouge your eyes out and kick your head in! Sorry!
Maybe if you'd have done a little bit more of that and a little less of this and whatever, you might not be divorced 4 fucking times. I guess it's a good thing that you didn't have a lot of cash until you started banging John Connor's mom.
Come with me if you want to live.
So gentlemen, pour yourself a shot with whatever you got. And just like the Terminator, let's go back in time.
Yeah.
Now listen, I'm not gonna go all out and dissect all of his divorces, because if I did, we'd be here all day. But the best place to start is at the beginning, back in Roger Corman days. For those of you who don't know, this was before James Cameron became king of the world, and that still sounds so gay. He started his career working for Roger Corman as a visual effects guy. Maybe, just maybe, the protege learned something from that guy. Because Roger Corman had his fingers in a lot of pies and put out a lot of shit. Just maybe, if you focus on one thing, maybe 2, life would be a lot simpler. But instead, Mr. Cameron decided he's gonna go balls deep in some lady named Sharon Williams. And that lasted from 78 to 84. 1984. And if you're a movie buff, that year should be very familiar to you. And I'm not talking about George Orwell, I'm talking about the Terminator. And that movie was produced by, oh, here we go, Gail Ann Hurd. What a coinky dink. She worked with him all through 83 and 84, and big shocker, he gets divorced.
Fascinating story. You thought of adapting it for the stage?
As a divorced dude, it's a wise thing to step back, take a break, think about where things went wrong, or anything you could have done better, or you just trip and fall into a new piece of pussy. Oh, I'm already here, fuck it. Spoiler alert, that is exactly what he did, that silly, foolish, monkey-branching mortal. The ink on his first divorce was dry in 84, and he married Miss Hurd in 1985. It seemed like a good working relationship. They worked on projects, they produced together. What more could you want? Oh, that's right, a different pussy.
Men should grow up.
Yeah, and dogs should stop licking themselves. It's not gonna happen.
His divorce to Miss Hurd was done in 1989, and in that same year, he married Miss Bigelow. That's right, Catherine Bigelow, the first woman to ever win an Oscar for Best Director. And if you haven't seen her movies, chances are you have and didn't know it. In fact, we're gonna put them on the screen. Recently, and I'm gonna say it, people are gonna get mad, she went full retard, but that's neither here nor there. But we're going to put all that shit aside because I fancy myself as somewhat of a gambling man. And I would bet good money he was tagging that shit for at least 2 years prior to marrying it.
It is possible to have a friend of the opposite sex without...
Blasphemer!
How do I know that? I just watch movies, bitch. Roll the clock back 2 years and you'll find a little vampire movie called Near Dark. It just so happens that 3 of the main actors who are in Aliens are also in Near Dark. I think it is fair to assume there was a little hanky-panky and pulling on the wanky, if you know what I mean.
I got a little dick, it's pathetic.
Because somebody was obviously trying to help somebody, And it was a two-way street, never go ass to mouth. Because once you go ass to mouth, it's all downhill from there, and it's not a roller coaster.
We're on express elevator to hell, going down.
You know what else goes down in a spiral pattern? Shit, when you flush it down the toilet. And that shit takes a big circle at first, and it gets smaller and smaller until it gets sucked into the abyss. No! And yes, that was a nerd joke. Screen 5! That first circle down the spiral takes a while, maybe 6 years. The second circle, a little tighter, it takes maybe 4. The third level down, a little tighter, it takes about 2 years. And that last one, right before it hits the abyss, a year, maybe a cunt hair more. You see the pattern here, right? 6 years, 4 years, 2 years, 1 year. This is the best example of diminishing returns we have ever had on the show. This is one dude, and each and every one of these got more expensive. But the cream of the crop, Linda Hamilton, because she married him exactly at the wrong time. You would think that he took some time off between Bigelow and Hamilton, and you would be wrong. He cut away from Bigelow in 1991. Huh. I wonder what happened in that year.
Hasta la vista, baby.
And we all know Terminator 2 Judgment Day, which is an ironic title for this director. He started banging Hamilton on the set, and I bet you dollars to donuts Bigelow found out about it. Because that movie barely came out, and they called it quits, and they were done.
Look at it this way, in 100 years, who's gonna care?
So he starts banging her, and in 1993, you guessed it, slipped one by the goalie. You dumb bastard. I'm not talking about Linda. I'm talking about you, James. She knew exactly what she was doing because she got knocked up exactly before the end of her second fertility window. That window was closed, but it wasn't slammed all the way shut. In fact, there was enough room for you to stick your penis through it. And if there's one glory hole that you don't want to stick your dick into, it's one that has a window that could slam shut on it.
There is no way I can picture that as a girl.
Little Josephine, born in 1993, but he didn't decide to write a check against it till 1997. And we all know what came out that year. Even if you were not born yet, we all know it.
Iceberg, right ahead!
Titanic, and don't you dare fucking play that song, 'cause I'll punch you in your face.
The fuck?
But still, there's a fifth name on this board, so y'all know where I'm going with this, right? And her name is Susie Amos. Go ahead, look her up, and you'll see what's coming. Amos takes it in the anus. I'm evil. All but play aside. Yes, Miss Amos was in the Titanic. It's like dominoes. He starts off married, meets a new chick at work, starts banging her, divorces the other one, rinse and repeat. What the fuck? But Linda Hamilton, she wasn't playing around, and you made a big mistake. You hit it out of the ballpark and got rich. This is one instance where I have just a little bit of sympathy for the woman, just a little.
It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear, and it absolutely will not stop. Ever.
He was with Linda from 91, but he didn't write a check against it till 97. He was filming Titanic with Susie Anus in 1996. You were already having an affair before you got married, but you still got married? Not only that, Titanic was about to come out, and you knew you were going to make a shitload of money.
And most paranoid delusions are intricate, but this is brilliant.
You would have been better off taking your money and setting it on fire, because at least it would have kept you warm. Not like you're left out in the cold or anything. Your movie made $1 billion, but you're still stupid.
I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Because you work in a very public business. And people in it don't get much of, what is that word? Yes, privacy. And after their movie gets 11 fucking Oscars, they have a lot less privacy. So when you walk into a marriage with a side piece already in tow, what did you think was gonna happen?
Fuck! He's dead. You dogged me, pal.
I'll tell you what happened. You took the big D and the slot B, balls deep right up your ass. And by the big D, I'm not talking about dick. I'm talking about divorce, but they do the same thing.
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we supposed to do?
Now, the best part of Pimptard-Wifestitute, your favorite and mine, the math. The divorce was finalized in 1999, and the primary settlement, $50 million.
$50 million?
For 13 months of actual marriage. Holy balls. On top of that, the child was 6 years old, so that meant 12 years of child support. Now, I could not find the exact numbers for child support, but I know a guy who knows a guy. So we're going to guesstimate $30,000 a month in child support. Who the fuck needs that much money for a kid a month? What the fuck? Listen, I don't even spend that kind of money on booze. I don't have a drinking problem, but I have problems, so I drink. And after shelling out $4.3 million in child support, I'd probably be drinking a lot.
Women. Can't live with them, can't kill them.
When all was said and done in 2011, when the child support ran out, this cost him $54,320,000. All coming from a woman whose net worth today is $70 million. That means 2/3 of her money came from this divorce. And that is what we call here in Redonkulous a Wifestitute.
Game over, man. It's game over.
No. We're not done yet. I know you kind of like this math. You might kiss it on the cheek, but the real good stuff is yet to come. We are going to dissect the hits on pussy. You're going to love this, because this part warms my black dead heart. Ooh, oh, I got a palpitation.
Because I'm hitting that, and it's totally hot.
At the time of the divorce, Mr. Cameron was 43 years old, probably needed some vitamin V, check it out, and had a side piece. If he was just hitting one piece, these numbers could easily be doubled. But we all know he wasn't. He was splitting his attention between these two chicks. And again, Mr. Cameron, what were you thinking? I understand she's a bipolar abusive bitch, but she's way hotter than your side piece. And we all know, in the beginning, crazy slot C is the best slot C there is. But when that pussy wears out, all you're left with is crazy. And the two kids that came out of the snot pocket, they kind of spur that process along, if you know what I mean. Stuffing wet spaghetti into a sandwich bag doesn't sound that appetizing, especially if you have to eat it.
Oh, with some clam chowder on top.
I'm drinking here. You're fucking with my drinking. Dude, I'm drinking. You say that, and I can literally, smell it. It's just disgusting. Now that he's scarred me for life with that mental image, let's get to hits on pussy. Just to be specific, I'm only talking about the 13 months where Mr. Cameron was charged full retail for this. I'm not talking about pre-bang shit, because that don't count.
Tell that to all the hookers who won't kiss me on the mouth.
Because logically speaking, this is the amount of time he got charged $50 million for. Just like his relationships, this is a downward spiral. In the beginning, it starts out 10 times a month because, hey, they do have a kid. That works out to 2.5 times a week, and a married couple with a kid, that's about normal. I know you're wondering what the 0.5 is, and that's where you get the awkward handy into the sheets when she's on the rag, or you get that sympathy blowjob because she wants to buy something. Not that I know anything about that, because I don't have any money. And we start off at 10, month 1, and downward spiral all the way through to the 13th month, just one kiss of death. Everyone deserves that one last farewell, get the fuck out sympathy bang, I guess. But that totals out to 69. It's on the pussy. So you take 54.32 million and divide that by 69. So that means every single time that he hit that pink pocket, it cost him $787,246.38. And that 38 cents, you know what to do with it. That's going right in the brown eye, just for spite. You want to smell it?
Are you high?
It's Tuesday, I'm wasted.
Can you imagine spending that kind of money on 7 minutes worth of fornication? I can't even imagine spending that on a car and a house. The average fornication session is 7 minutes long with 225 thrusts. And you know what I do once I get more numbers? I break it down more. So if you take that 787,000 and divide it by 225 thrusts, you get $3,498.87 per thrust. Ching, 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 making bank. I drive old cop cars, and that's what I pay for them. I get a cop car per thrust. That's 225 cop cars. That's 5 fleets of cop cars. That's like half the state of Michigan.
Is it just me, or is that weird?
Normally, this is where I'd be done. But Blake, that evil genius, and I think I'm rubbing off on him, came up with a great idea to make it even worse. Because this happened almost 20 years ago, he was like, hey, why don't we adjust for inflation? What's the worst that could happen? When you do that, 54 million explodes up to 79 million. And each hit on pussy. Whoa, take a look at this. $1,156,695.65. Oh, we have a new second place winner. Congratulations. You're like, holy shit, somebody made more money than that? Yeah, Janet Jackson, check it out. Oh, I almost forgot. The thrusts. $5,140.87 right up the keister. Mr. Cameron, I don't know what the hell you were thinking. You're clearly a genius, and your work proves it.
It's pathetic.
You were dick thinking well into your 40s. What is going on? You having some kind of major brain housing disconnect? Most of us get over that when we're 34, not 43. And usually, we don't have to get robbed blind by a 40-year-old abusive crazy bitch to figure that out. But hey, maybe you learned your lesson. You had your 4 strikes, and you knocked one out of the park. Because you've been with Miss Susie Anus ever since. You've been together 17 years, and that doesn't include the years she spent as a side piece. I can guarantee you, if she decides to bail, you will be the new king of the divorce world in Hollywood. Because if she decides she wants to cut away, shit's gonna get real, and it's gonna get real fast. Because you have 3 more vaginal turds with that last one, and you are now in the permanent alimony zone.
Say we take off, nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
In the meantime, we'll just be waiting around here at the bar, hoping it works out for you. But if it doesn't, the math is going to be absolutely glorious. You know what else is glorious? Donations. Check out the links below, Patreon and PayPal, and send us a couple bucks so we keep this train rolling. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell so you're notified when we make new videos. Because if you don't, I'll send a robot back in time to fuck your mother.
I don't know, is that a penis or is that like it's like a spider with a really long neck?
This kind of money will get you a very good woman at the Bunny Ranch with the girlfriend package every day per thrust. You know, the girlfriend package for a day, I mean, you can hit more than once. They rub your feet, rub your back, they cook for you. I mean, it's great, I guess. Not that I know anything about that. Don't judge me. I know people, they tell me things, so I'm going to be honest.